Hello and welcome. Thank you for making time for us. This is Focus on Africa from BBC World News. Lawyers representing 4 Nigerian farmers have accused Shell Oil Company of violating their basic human rights. The farmers have taken the multinational oil giant to court in The Hague, accusing it of polluting villages in the Niger Delta. They are asking Dutch judges to force Shell to pay them compensation for their economic losses. Anna Holligan sent this report from the District Court at The Hague.
They came to court to fight for compensation. These farmers say oil spills from Shell's pipelines have destroyed their crops and fish farms, effectively ruining their ability to generate any income from their land.
Nothing like living thing lives in the water again. It is no longer hospitable for people. From 2004 up to today.
Friends of the Earth says it has enough evidence to prove that Shell's failures to maintain the pipelines caused this environmental catastrophe. In court, campaigners asked judges to make a legal ruling that would force Shell to fix the pipes and to clean up the spills.
What we expect is that the outcome of this case will be that Shell is convicted for polluting the environment, for not properly maintaining its pipelines in Nigeria.
Lawyers for Shell, though, say the company has done everything by the book.
We believe that Shell Petroleum Company, development company in Nigeria, is not liable because they did more than they had to do, right? If we have a spill, which is our cause, yes, we should go in and clean up, but we also go in and clean up if it's sabotage. So we did that.
Indeed, the company argues it hasn't been able to clean up everywhere because of insecurity in the region, and that around 75% of leaks were caused by theft and sabotage. The farmers came to court today to ask judges to force Shell to pay them compensation for damage they say they've suffered because of Shell's failure to maintain their pipelines. If their case is successful, it could set a legal precedent and open the way for thousands of other compensation claims. There is no disputing this land has been damaged. The question is, who should pay the price? Anna Holligan, BBC News in The Hague.
We're now joined by my colleague Fidelis Imba, who's reported out to the Niger Delta for the BBC for several years. Fidelis, good to see you. You've seen firsthand the impact of 50-plus years of oil drilling in the Delta in Nigeria. Tell us, first of all, about the environmental impact.
Well, Kamla, this is actually really massive. You actually need to experience it to know what I'm talking about. You have a case where you're walking along the community, you see oil floating just by the riverbank, dead fishes, impacting negatively on aquatic life and also the source of livelihood of these communities.
Let's talk about that. How have people fared? I mean, these are communities where fishing is the primary source of revenue and economic activity, isn't it?
You see many of the young people now, because of the impact on their livelihood, since they can't really make ends meet, they're now drifting towards urban centers. And some of them are actually now forced to do things that are illegal, sort of, to actually remain in business and to make ends meet, which is why we have cases of bunkering and cases of kidnap for ransom.
Okay, I want you to explain that, because it's a term that we often use perhaps around the newsroom. What is oil bunkering, and does that to some extent explain the argument that's being put forward by some of the oil companies that some of these spillages are not their fault?
Yeah, sometimes, some of these young people go to these oil pipelines that are laid across their communities. They rupture these pipelines and then siphon crude oil, which they in turn either refine locally or sell it over to also people either through the waterways, because they're always willing buyers for this crude oil.
Obviously, some of our viewers will be wondering why it's taken so long for some of these issues to come forward. Is it something that the Nigerian government is particularly concerned about?
Well, the government is concerned, but again, the government's hands are tied because the government is into a joint venture agreement with some of these oil companies. They have 51% equity in some of these oil deals. And then again, there's enough security in the Niger Delta, but again, some of them are, in quotes, corrupt because they actually connive with some of these boys to carry out these illegal activities in the Niger Delta.
The BBC's Fidelis Imba. Thanks a lot, Fidelis. Let's take a look at some of the day's other news.